Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's story is pretty crazy, and it happened very recent. And I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I was confronted and harassed by a crackhead.
Everybody now, time to show the whole world what we're all about. We the girls, we the passion for passion.
Yes, it's not clickbait. I'm not lying. I'm not over exaggerating. I was fully harassed by a crackhead with my other friends. This is a wild story. As of right now, this is like the craziest story I have, honestly. Well, one of the craziest stories of my life, but it's like not something that happens to most people. It's not, especially not where it happened either. We were not in, I'll get into that later. Like, oh my god, okay. So let's just get straight into it because I'm ready to dive in. I've been waiting on the story. I've been letting it simmer. I'm like, let it cook, let it chill, you know? No, like now is the time, so let's go. This happened December 26th. Anyway, so the story starts. My friend messaged me and she was like, hey, do you want to sleep over? Our other friend is gonna be there. And I was like, okay, great. We're all gonna do it. Fun. So I come over, we're talking, whatever. You know, we're just doing regular things. Like we're probably like going on Omegle, going on our phones, like eating, you know, whatever. Same thing, like regular thing that you do at a sleepover. So then, after that, we're just like, okay, well, what do we do now? And there was nothing else to do, so we're like, alright, well, let's go on a walk, because that's what we usually do anyway. We're like, you know, walk around the neighborhood, listen to some music, like chill, like dance, whatever. It's fun. This is like, probably like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So, we walk out, and, God, we walk out, and we just like, we're walking down the street, and it's whatever, and it's fine. And then my friend's mom calls us, and she's like, you guys need to get back. And then she's like, talking to my friend, and she's like, I'm sick of you lying to me, like no more sleepovers if you're gonna keep doing this, blah blah blah. Because apparently she like goes out every time that she has a sleepover with my other friend, and they always get yelled at, but I didn't know that, whatever. So we're like, oh crap, we rush home, and we pass this house that is gonna be later in the story. And while we're passing that house, there's these two other guys who are like coming down, and you know, they have their hoods up and whatever. They're probably just like, hi, you know, it's none of my business. I don't really care. I'm not gonna like confront them, like whatever. So we're just running to the house, very frantic, like we're running to the house, close the door, slam the door shut, whatever. And then her mom's like talking to her, blah blah blah. We go back into the room, and we're like, oh crap, like that probably was not a good idea, like damn it. So now what do we do? Because her mom was like, blah, 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 like, I want you guys home. And she didn't really want us home. It was whatever. She was just like talking to my friend. So then we just did what we did before. We like ate.
Wendy Weill Yums is a fat whale.
Went on Omegle, talked, like texted people, whatever prank called, like the things that you do at a sleepover, you know? And so we're like, okay, it's kind of getting boring. This is like around 1 a.m. And then we're like, okay, what are we gonna do? And we were like, okay, at 2, let's go back out.
Well, yes.
Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not go back out? 2 o'clock comes, 2 in the morning, and we're like, okay, it's time to go out. So we go out, we go outside. We are tiptoeing. We're like, dum, 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 dum. And it is snowy and it's icy. So any crack, like any move basically makes a crack at this point, because it's so like cold outside, and it's raining. It was like you know, like when it's sprinkle raining, like it was sprinkling, and so like it was a task to get outside in the first place. We get outside, and then we go down the street. When we go down the street, we're like looking at the door, because that same door, my friend's mom looked at last time, and that was the time that she yelled at my friend and was like, blah, 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 like got all angry. So we're sitting there, and we're like talking, we're like, okay, what's our plan? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, whatever. We're like thinking about our plan. Like, what are we gonna do to make sure that we don't get in trouble? Like, cause you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to get in trouble. Well, not you don't want to get in trouble. We didn't want to get in trouble, so we were like, okay, well, what do we do to prevent getting in trouble? So we're like chit-chatting, like, okay, what's the plan? Like, make sure that door doesn't go. Like, make sure she's not looking at the door. Like, we didn't want to risk anything, and like her seeing us out, because obviously it's 2 a.m. Like, who wants somebody out? We weren't even doing anything about it. We were just like walking in the neighborhood, because we do that every time, but like her mom didn't want us out. So we're like, okay, like, blah, 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 blah. And we see at the house, we're sitting at like the edge of a house basically. We're not in the guy's driveway, we're not in like their yard, like none of that. We're just like at the end, like no, not even on, we're like on like what would be the sidewalk if there was a sidewalk, but this is like a neighborhood, so there's no sidewalk. So we're just like, and then we see someone's phone go off, and they look through the window, and they're like using their flash, and we're like, oh, guys, we should probably move, because this person, like, they obviously don't want us at their house. And as we're walking, we keep going, and then this guy, this random man, he comes outside, and he's like, hey,
Help me! Help me!
Mind you, I am the only one who is behind, because I'm, for some reason, walking slow, because I'm, not thinking. He's like, hey, one of my friends is so far ahead, she's, like, zooming, because she knows this guy. She told me after, which we'll get into later, she knows this guy, like, he is, like, known in the neighborhood, he sucks. And then my other friend, she's a little bit ahead of me, but she's like, oh, crap, like, I can't leave him. So she comes back, like, a little tiny bit, and, my other friend's like, come on, just go, come with me. And I'm like, I can't really let the guy's right here. Like, he's in front of my face, like, he's confronting me of all of you. Like, there's two of them in front of me, and he's only confronting me. The one who's not even in the neighborhood. I don't live here. Like, what do you, leave me alone. Like, oh, God. Okay, so then he comes up to me, and he's like, hey, you think it's okay to throw rocks at my window? And I'm like, what do you mean throw rocks at your window? I didn't throw a rock at your window. And he's like, you threw rocks at my window earlier. And I was like, what do you mean we threw a rock at your window? Like, we didn't even go near your house last time. What are you talking about? We threw a rock at your window at 10 o'clock. And he's like, what's your name? What's your name? And I'm like, well, first of all, when he said, what's your name? I said, why do you need to know? And he goes, what's your name? So I said, Kevin. Just like that. I went, Kevin. Mind you, Christmas was the day before, so I was thinking of Home Alone, so I was like, okay, Kevin McAllister. I was very scared. I was like, obviously I didn't do it, but I don't want him, like, if he was gonna go to the police, I didn't want him to be like, oh, you know, like, Jace Mazzucco, blah, 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 like, at the police station, even though I didn't do it, you know, I don't want to, like, have to go up there and be like, no, I didn't do it, blah, 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 you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to have to deal with all that, so I was like, nah, my name's Kevin, like, screw it. So then, he's, like, talking to my friend, and he's like, you all threw a rock at my window, and he's like, well, I have it on camera. And I'm like, well, where's the footage, bud? Because, like, where's the footage? And he's like, I'm not showing you the footage. I'm not showing you the footage. And then he says it to my friend. He goes, talk for me. And she's like, what? And then he says to my other friend, talk for me. She doesn't talk for him because she was the only, like, smart one in this situation. Anyway, the neighborhood is so quiet. It's 2 a.m. Nothing is happening. So my friend is just like, what? Like, what are you on, dude? And he's like, I have video footage, video evidence, and I'm taking it to the station tomorrow. And we're like, well, can we see the video evidence? Like where is the evidence, dude? Like, show us the footage. If you're gonna accuse us of doing something that we didn't do, then show us it on camera. And he's like, I'm not showing you. And then my friend was like, well, then how do you know that we did it? And he's like, because I have it on camera. And then once again, this is basically like 10 minutes goes on of us just asking him for the footage. I'm like, where is the footage? And then you know what he says after this? He goes, why am I fighting with 3 kids? I don't know. Why are you fighting with 3 kids at 2 in the morning? Why are you fighting with 3 kids at 2 in the morning? That is my question, dude. Why are you fighting with 3 kids? We didn't do anything. Like, dude, like, what do you mean? Why are you fighting with 3 kids? You tell me. You came outside. You talked to us. What do you mean? Why am I fighting with 3 kids? You chose to fight with 3 kids. Like, dude, like, oh my God, where is the knowledge, dude? Oh my God. Oh God, I'm getting heated. Like, what do you mean, why are you fighting with 3 kids? You're fighting with 3 kids because you decided to be a loser and come outside and go fight with me. Like, dude, oh my God. And then, so we're like, okay, like, now what?
So?
No, I'm saying
what now?
I mean,
And he's like, then he goes, think. And we go, what do you mean think? He goes, think, I have 5 cameras. Think before you do something like throwing a rock at my window. And we're like, what? And then my friend was like, well, I don't see anything, like, at your window, like, because there was no dent in his window. Mind you, this guy is clearly on drugs or some sort of, like, substance, because no one acts like this. Nobody acts like this. Anyway, I just got a cough drop, so don't mind that. That's gonna be my mouth, because I've been coughing in between all the cuts. Anytime there's a cut, it's because I've coughed. Anyway. So she was like, well, we don't see a thing in your window, because there was nothing in his window. This guy's delusional. He's just seeing things. We're like, okay, well, where's the hole in your window? And he's like, I've got people to cover it. I've got family. I'm like, well, we didn't ask if you have family. We asked for the footage, dude. Like, we don't care that you have family to cover it. Cover what? The invisible hole? And my friend was like, Oh, are you talking about from the Halloween party a couple weeks ago? Because a couple months ago, 2 months in advance, my friend had a Halloween party, and this guy was also involved in this Halloween party because he had an issue with one of the people when they were leaving the party. And we are in the suburbs, 2 a.m., quiet little tiny neighborhood. This is a small neighborhood with a bunch of small houses. Everybody can probably hear because this guy is not being quiet about it at all, not being subtle. He's 1000% shouting, no shame. So, well, we're like, well, then show us the footage or we're gonna leave. Like, dude, leave us alone. And he's like, it's fine, go ahead. I have cameras. I bring them up to the station tomorrow. So we're like, okay, you do that, buddy. And we walk away and we're just like, blah, 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 like talking about him, like, you know, whatever. Like, cause like, what just happened? Like, what? So we get to the house and we're like, oh my God, like, how can you be so crazy? Like, who does this? Like, what is this behavior?
Pooja, what is this behavior?
I'm sorry, I kicked it by mistake.
You can't kick.
No, because genuinely, who acts like this? Like, this is not normal. It's 2 a.m. and we were just like debriefing about everything that happened. Like, basically everything I'm saying here is exactly how we were talking, except there was 3 people. And we were like, well, where's the footage? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's not gonna go down to the station. Like, you know, like, we weren't like, you know, we were like, well, what's he gonna do? And then, so we're talking about probably for like 5-ish minutes. Then, we look out the window. We see out the window a flash. I mean, you know, it could be a car, whatever. But my friend was like, oh, like, she was just curious. So she was like, okay, let me look out the window. Let me see what's going on outside. She looks through her door window. It's this guy. This guy comes outside with a freaking flashlight. A flashlight to see us. To look through our, like, window. To look at us. Because he knows what house we were at. Why are you, dude, we are literally 3 children. What are you doing? Like, why are you going down the street with a freaking flashlight trying to look at us? You freak. What is your deal? We're looking out the window and he literally has a flashlight. He's going up and down the street trying to get into, like, to get a glimpse of this window. We look out. He was like 2 meters away from my friend. It was like a miracle that he didn't see them, because she's looking like through like the blinds of the door. Her door has blinds. So she had them like pulled like this, and she's like, it's like a miracle. But mind you, like I said, he is a crackhead, so obviously he didn't see her. Thank God, because it would have started a whole nother thing. He would have knocked on the door, her mom would have woke up, it would have been a whole thing. Oh my God. But he didn't see her, thank God. But after he didn't see her, he was like right at the door like this with the flashlight. And then he goes back down the street and it does the same thing again. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, oh my God. Then he turned on his car lights and he started driving up and down the road. Then he parked somewhere and waited for us to come outside again. And I'm like, we're not coming outside again. Why would we come outside so we can go fight with you again when you're like 50-something years old, angry about us throwing a rock out your window that never happened? You know what I mean? And then we were like, well, who threw the rock at his window? Like, maybe he made it up, but like, if somebody did throw the rock at his window, like, who did? And my friend was like, well, maybe it happened at the Halloween party, which he said he didn't. And then she was like, well, what? And I was like, maybe those guys we walked by, maybe they threw it. And then my friend was like, oh yeah, maybe they did. But then she was like, wait, no, because I like know who those kids are. They didn't do that. They probably were just like minding their own business, whatever. And we were just like, well, who does that? So who did it? And we were like, no one did it. This isn't the 80s. It's like, oh yeah, let me throw a rock at your window. Like, no one does that. Like, it's not like this isn't some like 1980s like sitcom, like, boom, throw a rock at your window, let's egg your house. Like, no, like, what? This is like a modern day, like, huh? So we were just like blown out of our minds. Like, who does this? Who does this? So then we're like about to go to bed and we're like, oh my God, like, I really hope that in the morning we don't wake up to like police knocking at the door. We wake up, no police are at the door. Thank God. Oh my God, if police were at the door, I would have literally fought this man. But this was crazy. Like, comment down below if this has ever happened to you, because this is not something that happens. But anyway, I just wanted to tell this story. I thought it was fun. And at that night, I was like, this is gonna be such a fun story to tell when I'm older. And I was like, wait, no, not when I'm older. I'll tell this in like a couple weeks. A couple weeks came, and now I'm telling the story, so yeah. But anyway, like I said, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share it with your friends. If you had a great day, what? I hope you had a great day as much as I did. Peace.